Everywhere you look, billboards, movies, TikTok trends, you're bombarded with images of what the perfect body should look like. These glossy visuals create an ideal that feels almost unattainable. But what's often hidden behind those perfect smiles and sculpted abs is a different story. Millions of Americans are silently battling stress, low self-esteem, and even depression, all fueled by these unrealistic beauty standards that let's break it down. Research shows that exposure to idealized body images can lead to body dissatisfaction, which is linked to a host of mental health issues. When we scroll through our Instagram feeds, we're not just looking at pictures. We're comparing ourselves to curated lives that often don't reflect reality. It's easy to forget that those magazine covers are often airbrushed and filtered, presenting a version of beauty that's not just rare, but often completely fabricated. The pressure to conform to these standards can be overwhelming. It seeps into our daily lives, influencing how we see ourselves and how we interact with others. The gym ads that promise transformation often come with an unspoken message. If you don't look like this, you're not enough. This can lead to a vicious cycle of striving for an ideal that's not only unrealistic but also harmful.
And let's talk about stress. The constant pursuit of perfection can lead to anxiety and burnout. Many people find themselves trapped in a cycle of dieting, excessive workouts, and self-criticism, thinking that happiness lies in achieving that perfect body. But the truth is, our worth isn't defined by our appearance. It's shaped by our experiences, our passions, and how we treat ourselves and others. So, what can we do? First, we need to challenge these beauty standards. It's crucial to surround ourselves with diverse representations of beauty that celebrate all body types. We should support brands and influencers who promote body positivity and authenticity. And let's not forget the importance of self-compassion. Learning to appreciate our bodies for what they can do, rather than how they look, can be a game changer. Ultimately, it's about shifting the narrative. Instead of striving for an ideal, let's focus on being healthy, both physically and mentally. Embracing our uniqueness can lead to a more fulfilling life, free from the constraints of societal expectations. Remember, beauty is not one size fits all, it's a spectrum, and every body deserves to be celebrated.
I want to talk about something that's been weighing on my mind lately: body image stress. It's this constant worry or dissatisfaction with how we look, and honestly, it can be exhausting. It's not just about wanting to fit into a certain size or look like someone we see on a magazine cover. It goes deeper than that. It's about how we tie our self-worth to our appearance. Think about it. We scroll through social media, and it feels like we're bombarded with perfect images. Every swipe shows us someone who seems to have it all together: flawless skin, perfect hair, and bodies that look like they just stepped out of a fitness magazine. And there we are, comparing ourselves to these curated lives, feeling that familiar sigh of disappointment. It's like a never-ending cycle of self-doubt that what's really troubling is how this stress is influenced by so many factors: media, peers, culture, and now, social media filters. Those filters can create an illusion that's hard to escape. We see these idealized versions of ourselves that don't even exist, and it's easy to forget that what we see online is often just a highlight reel. It's not reality. And then there's the pressure from our peers. It's not just about what we see online. It's also about how we perceive ourselves in relation to our friends. We might hear comments like, "You should really try this diet," or "Have you seen how great she looks?" It's like we're in this competition that nobody's signed up for, and it can make us feel like we're never enough. This stress can seep into every part of our lives. It affects our confidence, our relationships, and even our mental health. When we're constantly worried about how we look, we miss out on enjoying life. We might avoid social situations or skip out on activities because we don't feel good enough. It's a heavy burden to carry, but here's the thing. We need to start shifting our focus. Instead of measuring our worth by our appearance, we should celebrate our uniqueness. Each of us has something special to offer that goes beyond looks. It's about embracing who we are, flaws and all. Let's challenge the narrative that our value is tied to our appearance. We can surround ourselves with positivity, follow accounts that promote body positivity, and remind ourselves that it's okay to be imperfect. It's time to break free from the chains of body image stress and start appreciating ourselves for who we truly are. So, the next time you find yourself scrolling through social media, remember that those images are just a fraction of reality. Focus on what makes you feel good, what you love about yourself, and let go of the unrealistic standards that society tries to impose on us. We're all in this together, and it's time to lift each other up instead of tearing ourselves down. The American beauty standard has always been a moving target, hasn't it? Let's take a quick trip through time. In the 1950s, we had Marilyn Monroe, the epitome of curves. She was celebrated for her hourglass figure, and women aspired to that voluptuous look. Fast forward to the 1990s, and we see a drastic shift. Suddenly, the super skinny models ruled the runway. Think Kate Moss and the waif-like aesthetic that dominated fashion. It was a time when being thin was synonymous with beauty, and many felt the pressure to conform to that ideal. Now, let's jump to the 2010s and 2020s. Enter the era of the fit but curvy body type, popularized by figures like Kim Kardashian. Suddenly, having a toned physique with curves in all the right places became the new standard. But here's the kicker. These ideals are constantly changing. One minute you're trying to achieve that Marilyn Monroe silhouette, and the next, you're told to look like a fitness influencer with a tiny waist and a big backside. It's exhausting, and it's not just women who feel this pressure. Men face their own set of unrealistic expectations. Society pushes the idea that to be attractive, a man must be tall, muscular, and ripped. The dad bod might be gaining some acceptance, but the pressure to look like a superhero is still very much alive. It's as if we're all trapped in this never-ending cycle of comparison, trying to meet standards that are not only unrealistic but also ever-changing. What's even more troubling is how media and influencers amplify these pressures. Social media is flooded with images of perfect bodies, often edited and filtered to the point of being unrecognizable. We scroll through our feeds, bombarded by these unrealistic portrayals of beauty, and it's hard not to feel inadequate. The truth is, these images don't reflect reality. They're curated snapshots that often hide the struggles behind them. The constant shifting of beauty standards creates a sense of insecurity. It's like trying to hit a moving target while blindfolded. We're left feeling like we can never quite measure up, no matter how hard we try. It's time we start questioning these ideals and recognize that beauty comes in all shapes and sizes. Instead of chasing an ever-elusive standard, let's celebrate our individuality and embrace the diversity of body types. After all, true beauty isn't defined by a number on a scale or a specific body shape. It's about confidence, authenticity, and being comfortable in our own skin. It's fascinating how much our perception of beauty can shape our mental health. The pressure to look a certain way can lead to overwhelming stress and anxiety. Many of us find ourselves constantly worrying about how we're judged based on our appearance. It's exhausting, isn't it? The fear of being critiqued can turn even the simplest social interactions into a minefield of self-doubt. Then there's depression. It creeps in when we feel we're not measuring up to those relentless beauty standards. You start to think, I'm just not good enough. Those thoughts can spiral, dragging down your self-esteem and leaving you in a dark place. It's a cycle that's hard to break. Eating disorders are another alarming consequence of this pressure. We're seeing a rise in cases of anorexia, bulimia, and binge eating. It's heartbreaking. People are resorting to extreme measures to fit an ideal that's often unrealistic. The obsession with food, weight, and body image can take over lives, leading to serious health issues. Social withdrawal is another common response. Many avoid gatherings, parties, or even simple outings because of body shame. You might think, what if I don't look right? Or what will people say? It's a shame to miss out on life's moments because of how we feel about our bodies. And let's not forget the obsessive habits that can develop. Over-exercising, extreme dieting, and even cosmetic procedures become ways to chase an elusive standard of beauty. It's a dangerous game. The pursuit of perfection can lead to physical and mental exhaustion, leaving us feeling more inadequate than ever. When beauty standards become impossible, your self-esteem pays the price. It's crucial to recognize that our worth isn't tied to our appearance. We need to shift the narrative, embrace our uniqueness, and support one another in this journey. Let's focus on what truly matters: our health, our happiness, and our ability to connect with others, free from the weight of judgment. Anxiety can feel like an unwelcome guest that just won't leave. It creeps in quietly, often starting with that nagging feeling of doom. That sense that something bad is about to happen, even when there's no real reason to feel that way. It's like your mind is playing tricks on you, convincing you that the worst is just around the corner. Then there's the constant worry about the future. It's exhausting, isn't it? You find yourself stuck in a loop, replaying scenarios in your head, imagining every possible outcome. You might be thinking about work, relationships, or even just the state of the world. It's like your brain is a news ticker, constantly scrolling through all the things that could go wrong. And let's talk about focus, or rather, the lack of it. You sit down to tackle a task, but your mind feels like it's in a million different places at once. You might be staring at your computer screen, but your thoughts are racing, jumping from one worry to another. It's frustrating when you know you need to concentrate, but your brain just won't cooperate. Irritability is another common companion of anxiety. Little things that normally wouldn't bother you suddenly feel like they're pushing you over the edge. Maybe it's a loud noise, a messy room, or someone asking a simple question. You snap, and then you feel guilty for overreacting. It's a vicious cycle that can leave you feeling drained and on edge. And let's not forget about sleep. Insomnia or restless sleep can turn a tough day into an unbearable one. You lie in bed, tossing and turning, your mind racing with thoughts. You might finally doze off, but it's never deep or restful. You wake up feeling just as tired as when you went to bed, which only adds to the anxiety. It's crucial to remember that anxiety isn't just in your head. It's a whole body experience. It can manifest physically, too: tightness in your chest, a racing heart, or even stomach issues. Your body is reacting to the stress your mind is experiencing. It's all connected, and that's why it's so important to address both the mental and emotional signs of anxiety. Recognizing these signs is the first step toward managing them. It's okay to feel overwhelmed sometimes. What matters is how you respond. Whether it's talking to someone, practicing mindfulness, or seeking professional help, taking action can make a world of difference. Remember, you're not alone in this. Many people experience these feelings, and there are ways to find relief. I want to talk about something that often goes unnoticed, something that wears a mask of normalcy while wreaking havoc beneath the surface. Anxiety. It's like this invisible weight that many of us carry, and it can manifest in ways that are hard to see. Take students, for example. They might look fine sitting in class, but inside, they're battling panic attacks that make it impossible to focus. Skipping classes becomes a survival tactic, not because they don't care about their education, but because the thought of facing a room full of people feels like standing on the edge of a cliff. The pressure to perform, to fit in, can be overwhelming. Then there are workers juggling deadlines and responsibilities. They might seem composed in meetings, but behind that smile, there's a storm of mental overload. The constant barrage of emails, projects, and expectations can lead to burnout. Missing deadlines isn't about laziness. It's about being paralyzed by anxiety, feeling like you're drowning in a sea of tasks. And let's not forget parents. They often wear the bravest faces, but many live in fear of leaving their kids alone. The worry can be suffocating. What if something happens? What if they can't handle it? It's a cycle of anxiety that can feel isolating, as if no one else understands the weight of those worries. Anxiety often hides behind a smile, and that's the irony. We've been conditioned to believe that we need to appear fine to the world to keep up appearances. But beneath that facade, there's a struggle that many of us face daily. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to admit that you're feeling overwhelmed. We need to create a space where we can talk about these feelings openly, where students can share their fears without judgment, where workers can admit they need help without fearing for their jobs, and where parents can express their worries without feeling like they're failing. Let's break the stigma. Let's acknowledge that anxiety is real and that it affects so many of us. By sharing our stories, we can find strength in our vulnerability. We can support one another, and maybe, just maybe, we can start to lift that invisible weight together. Anxiety is something we all experience at some point, and while it can feel overwhelming, managing it is key. It's not about trying to eliminate anxiety completely. It's about finding effective coping strategies that work for you. Let's dive into some techniques that can really make a difference. First up, breathing techniques. It sounds simple, but deep breathing can be incredibly powerful. When you feel that anxiety creeping in, take a moment to focus on your breath. Inhale deeply through your nose, hold it for a few seconds, and then exhale slowly through your mouth. This activates your body's relaxation response, helping to calm your mind and reduce tension. Next, let's talk about caffeine and alcohol. Both can be tempting when you're feeling anxious, but they can actually make things worse. Caffeine can spike your heart rate and increase feelings of anxiety, while alcohol might seem like a quick fix, but can lead to more anxiety later. Limiting these substances can help create a more stable emotional state. Regular exercise is another fantastic strategy. It doesn't have to be intense. Even a daily walk can work wonders. Exercise releases endorphins, which are natural mood lifters. Plus, it gives you a chance to clear your mind and focus on something other than your worries. Therapy, particularly cognitive behavioral therapy or CBT, is a structured approach that can help you understand and change the patterns of thinking that contribute to anxiety. A therapist can guide you through techniques to challenge negative thoughts and develop healthier coping mechanisms. Journaling is another effective tool. Writing down your thoughts and feelings can provide clarity and help you process what you're experiencing. It's a safe space to express yourself without judgment. Plus, looking back at your entries can show you how far you've come. Social connection is crucial, too. Reach out to friends or family when you're feeling anxious. Sharing your feelings can lighten the load and remind you that you're not alone. Sometimes, just talking about what's bothering you can make a world of difference. Mindfulness and meditation are practices that encourage you to stay present and observe your thoughts without judgment. Even just a few minutes a day can help you cultivate a sense of calm and reduce anxiety over time. There are plenty of apps and guided sessions available to help you get started. Lastly, if anxiety feels unmanageable, medication might be an option worth exploring. It's important to consult with a healthcare professional who can help determine if this is the right path for you. Medication can be a helpful tool in conjunction with other strategies. Remember, managing anxiety is a journey, not a destination. It's about finding what works for you and being patient with yourself along the way. Embrace these strategies, and you'll find that you can navigate anxiety more effectively, allowing you to lead a fulfilling life despite its presence. Anxiety can be a relentless companion, creeping into our daily lives and making everything feel heavier. If you find that anxiety is a constant presence, disrupting your work, school, or relationships, it might be time to consider seeking professional help. It's not just about feeling a little stressed, it's about recognizing when that stress becomes overwhelming. Panic attacks can feel like a storm hitting out of nowhere. If you're experiencing them frequently, it's crucial to talk to someone who can help you navigate through those turbulent moments. You don't have to face this alone. And then there's the temptation to use alcohol or drugs as a way to cope. It might seem like a quick fix, but it often leads to a deeper hole. If you find yourself reaching for substances to escape, it's a sign that you might need support. Feeling hopeless is another red flag. If you're in a place where you think about harming yourself, please reach out for help immediately. There's no shame in asking for support. It's a brave step towards healing. In the U.S., you can call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 988. They're available 24/7 to talk. Remember, seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. You deserve to feel better, and there are people ready to help you on that journey. Anxiety is something many of us experience, yet often feels like a lonely battle. It can manifest in so many ways: racing thoughts, a tight chest, or that overwhelming sense of dread that seems to come out of nowhere. It's easy to feel like you're the only one going through this, but the truth is, anxiety is one of the most common mental health struggles in America. What's important to remember is that searching for answers is a sign of strength. It shows you care about your well-being and are willing to seek help. You're not broken, you're human. It's okay to feel anxious. It's okay to seek support. Many people think anxiety is just about being nervous or worried, but it's so much more complex. It can affect your sleep, your relationships, and even your ability to enjoy life. Some days, it might feel like a heavy weight on your shoulders, while other days, it's just a whisper in the back of your mind. If you're struggling, know that you're not alone. There are countless others who feel the same way, and there's no shame in reaching out for help. Whether it's talking to a friend, a therapist, or even just sharing your feelings with someone who understands, taking that step can be incredibly empowering. So, take a moment to breathe. Inhale deeply, hold it for a second, and exhale slowly. Let that tension melt away. Remember, it's okay to have these feelings. They don't define you. Which anxiety symptom do you relate to most? Comment bido? Let's support each other on this journey.